we have a pair of 1987 Buicks. The first one here is a Grand National. This Grand National is nicknamed Time Capsule, which is 303 miles on it since new. Along with it is a 1987 Buick Regal Limited, known as Silver Bullet. Spooling this car is a Precision PT88 4-bolt turbocharger, creating 25 pounds of boost. Everything has been done on this vehicle. It also sits with ladder bar suspension, equipped with Coney coilovers. The interior is designed with custom leather seats. You want to get a bone stock in the wrapper Time Capsule or this ultra customized Buick Regal, both no reserve.
Barrett-Jackson was talking about a couple of Buicks he was looking forward to, and they're rolling up on the block right now. This is the first one, an 87 Buick Regal Turbo T Custom.
It's world-renowned. Everybody in the circles that follow these cars knows everything about it. It's incredible in every single way you can imagine. And we're going to tell you a little bit about the technical components of the car, but do not miss this opportunity to buy an iconic piece of Buick history and one of the most beautiful transformations. Under the hood is a work of art, and this thing will flat get down the road. Whitey?
Absolutely. Lot 707's description.
Well, you got a race car and you got that street version with very, very few miles. Look at what's been done here. Underneath the hood, there's the big turbo for that Buick V6. Yeah, that's the engine that went to Indy and won races in the NASCAR Busch Series. And here, this thing has been stripped of everything that didn't make it go fast.
Yeah, that motor has been enlarged from 231 to 276 cubic inches, has aluminum cylinder heads from Buick Motorsport, a Turbo 400 3-speed automatic instead of the 204R or R4 that would not maybe be as strong as needed here. But again, this is fully modified for drag racing, but it's still street legal.
The stock IP has been replaced with autometer gauges. There is a full roll cage in this car that extends all the way back to support the rear suspension and into the trunk. Built to go fast in a straight line.
So it's a great story, according to the consignor, about how this car started as a custom. The car itself had some damage to the rear quarter. They started looking at how they were going to fix it and talk about one thing leading to another. The next thing you know, they had done a full custom job when it just started out as how do we repair the rear quarter.
Just remember, too, that 1987 was the final year for the turbocharged Regal. 27,590 were built, of which about 21,000 were black Grand Nationals. The remainder, about 7,400 cars, were able to be painted different colors, white, silver. They were Turbo T Regals, which we have here. Not a Grand National, but again, a Turbo T.
Yeah, Buick for a while used the T-type, much like Chevy used SS for Super Sport, or Pontiac, of course, had their GTO as a separate model. But in the 80s, this was the collectible mid-size car from anywhere in Detroit as far as overall performance concerned. Here's Steve.
It's under the hood. Billet roller camshaft, roller rockers, 14-bolt Buick Motorsports cylinder heads, Hogan custom sheet metal, titanium intake manifold. This is absolutely one of the finest and most popular and well-known Buicks of its kind ever in existence. Again, an icon is for sale. We're about a quarter of the way where we should be, but it's going to sell before it hits that door, so do not miss. You want to start a car collection with something that's spectacular, that's very, very rare and nearly impossible to duplicate. Don't miss this opportunity, Trey.
6-8 withdrawn.
Now, a couple of the modifications done for drag racing are replacing the 8.5-inch 10-bolt rear axle with a 4.9-inch, which frankly is going to be needed for this thing's nearly 900 horsepower, and 4-link rear suspension, a fuel cell with a bottom sump to make sure you never run lean, and here is the battery kill plunger right here, an NHRA mandate when a battery is moved from the engine compartment to the trunk.
Steve was talking about how well known this car is. It was featured on the cover of GM High Tech magazine. It was on CarCraft magazine. It was in the Carlisle GM Nationals. It was the Chicago World of Wheels Best in Class winner. This car has been around. It has been judged. And I'll tell you what, it's been found worthy. And you think Think about it. If you grew up in the 80s, this is the body style that you grew up with. This is the car you loved.
Yeah, right, the GMG body. Of all the cars built in the malaise era of emissions and low horsepower, these Buicks stand out.
This one finally made it to $77,000 for that custom 1987 Buick Regal Turbo. All right, now that was the custom version. Now let's look at the original version, a 1987 Buick Grand National.
Here it is right there. Beautiful.
Yes, sir.
Stock and low miles, yes, this is the one you want. The most collectible performance car of the malaise era. Here in all its hardly used, just broken in glory.
1987, second and final year for the intercooled 3.8 V6. One way to very quickly tell an 85 or 86 from 87. If you see Buick here, it's 87. A big chrome strip up top is 86. But again, below the bumper, you see this gap in the chin spoiler. That feeds air to the intercooler. When you see that, you're driving your 5.0 Mustang, pull over. You're not going to beat it if you're talking stock versus stock.
300 original miles, and you're sitting there thinking about it.
Chrome turbine wheels, Goodyear Eagle GT tires as it was originally equipped. There is the window sticker. Now, of course, those are $1987. But what a time capsule and a great collectible piece here.
You know, Mike, as this car rolls away, the right rear tire still bears the sticker that was applied by the Flint, Michigan factory. Nobody's ever burned rubber in this thing, because that would be gone. So 303 very, very carefully restrained miles. No burnouts.
Remember in Scottsdale, we saw the very last Grand National that came off the line sold. The one had been signed by everybody. And that was pretty special, but this one with only 303 miles, boy, what a time capsule.
Nicely equipped, AM/FM radio, power windows and locks, cloth, gray silver cloth upholstery, as most of these were equipped. And yes, black is the color.
No T-tops, which is good or bad. You call it. Most folks who want performance don't really like the T-tops because they tend to, well, leak and weigh a little bit more. And sometimes cracks in the bodywork are part of life of the T-tops. So we'll call this one a slick top. Beautiful looking car, though.
You paid $17,643 to buy this when it was new. Well, if that sounds cheap, there's no way I would trade 1977 or 87 salary for 1987 to get 1987 prices. No thanks.
Back in the mid-'80s, the Connecticut State Police used brown Turbo Ts as interceptors on 84 and all the other highways down there in Connecticut.
How would you know that, Steve? Never mind. I'm not asking.
$82,000 for a 1987 Buick Grand National with just 300 miles on the odometer.